having been at Webflow and sort of been at the center of some of the no code building
Hmm.
era, I have a little bit of a skepticism about the SaaSpocalypse, because what I have taken away from no code is that truly at the end of the day, only a small percentage of us as humans are truly builders. A lot of people have obviously enormous like wide breadth of strengths, but not many people are actually really excited about the idea of tinkering on a problem or building a product around it. And I think that LLMs and sort of coding agents and vibe coding platforms do expand that market a bit. But I think it's easy to be persuaded that that market is much, much, much larger than it very likely is, or very likely is over the next like 2 to 3 years after the kind of initial sort of enthusiasm wears off a bit. And so what that means, I think, is that people are not going to stop buying SaaS because there's so many problems in your company that it's not worthwhile to have Sally down the hall being the core maintainer and builder for. So you're going to want to have somebody, just even for like a SLA and reliability perspective of any of the software that you're
Yeah.
using, you're going to want to buy it from someone else because they're going to maintain it. I think that's overlooked a lot in our SaaS
Definitely.
apocalypse debates at
Hmm.
this point.
Yeah, completely agree. We've been talking about that a little bit at the council recently too, because we've been vibe coding more on the back end here. And it is really exciting when you get in there. You're like, wow, I can do so much. But
Yeah.
it's not like, a silver bullet, like you press a button and everything you've ever dreamed of just comes to life in front of your face. It does take tinkering. And
Yeah.
like you said, not everybody wants to do that. And that does take time. It might not take as many engineers as it used to do one single task, but it does take time. So, and then similarly, another sort of like, question that I'm sure you're used to getting when you go out anywhere right now, but what do you think sort of the future of creative work? Because you've worked at places like Figma, and you worked on the developer side a lot with builders. There's obviously a lot of public debate around that. So would love to hear your thoughts there. And that piece on designers that dropped like last week or maybe over the weekend. It's been very spicy. So,
Yeah. So I think that at the end of the day, the limiting factor on new startups and new software is not necessarily even taste or your ability to create it at all. It's actually some amount of commercial sense. Like really understanding what is valuable and what kind of solution actually is worth building and worth sharing. I think what's going to happen here is that we have so many people who are going to be really who are already very, very skilled. And then it's not really a question of whether or not they know how to code or know how to design. It's just that they themselves have that urge to tinker, that urge to solve problems. And then more importantly, the discipline and insight around identifying and solving the problems that matter. Those people are going to be totally supercharged by AI and these tools. And that's kind of right now the true, I think, limiting constraint on us.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a lot of like what we talk about, like around like just needing the expertise to understand the problem deeply and figuring out, again, like the solution. Like, of course, creating and building a solution around it. But yeah, you have to really understand that and have that expertise to be able to build the right thing.